actually is. What is wrong with America? The Democrats are the ones. They are the party that cares about the country.
The 47th President of the United States.
This is the biggest red wave I've seen since Ronald Reagan's 49-state victory.
There were appeals to racism in this campaign, and there is racial bias in this country, and there is sexism in this country.
Trump, once again elected to the White House, leaders around the world congratulating him on his historic comeback. But there is one leader who apparently has no plans to congratulate him, Russia's Vladimir Putin, according to the Kremlin.
When asked the question about why hasn't Vladimir Putin congratulated President-elect Donald Trump, he said, let's not forget that we're talking about an unfriendly country that is both directly and indirectly involved in a war against our state.
We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy?
Friends, and welcome back to thank you for your attention to this matter. I'm going to tell you, this podcast is very fun. And it probably goes 5 days a week next week. And we may even start a channel because there's a lot of political talk here that's not on the other parts of my channel, as you all know, more focused on pop culture and the deterioration of the American culture. And hopefully we're going to be pushing back on that, just like we did starting way back in last November. So happy anniversary. I don't know. What do you want me to say? I'm just going to say this. We got some good news today. We got some bad news yesterday and bad news the day before that. But eventually it'll all come out in the wash. And one of the people that I hope washes out, not just Nancy Pelosi, which we'll talk about later, is MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm less enthusiastic about her than I've been in a long time, and even more uninterested in someone like Rand Paul, who is a massive detriment to this country. I don't know what else to say. Caveat Tice is Kamanama Dami. There you go. Yeah, we'll get to that too. We'll get to it all. There's a lot going on. I was promised a great many things from some very large talking heads out there, that I should not be concerned about how elections are conducted or who is voting in them, because nobody would ever think of breaking the law and voting illegally. Well, that's not entirely the situation. We come to find out, and seems to happen more and more regularly. And we'll get to that in just a second after I acknowledge the the first Dragon Queen out there who dropped the review yesterday. Do check out her channel and her latest review. Also, say a big shout out and thank you to Real Morgan in SC. All right. If that's from South Carolina, thank you. Didn't realize I was reaching all the way down there. I will say this. I have a gardener that I follow that's in South Carolina and is, one of my favorite people to watch on YouTube. So thank you for this, and thank you for the 20 Culture Casino memberships. Look at that. Right off the bat, the generosity is flowing, and look at all those names turn green. Amazing stuff. Thank you, R.L. Morgan, Real Morgan, I believe, in South Carolina. I really want to figure out if there is a setting where I can fix all y'all's names, because it's driving me crazy. because in some places it comes through properly. In other places, it's an @ sign and a bunch of stuff I don't recognize. And I would just think that would be great. SWG Vice out there. And I guess that's actually who R.L. Morgan is. Thank you. I appreciate it. SWG Vice. On that note, let's do this. Let's say thank you to our friend Archer Merchant with a $10 super duper chat, keeping the show alive. Saw 2 articles today. One was talking about the New York mayor dropping promises, asking donations to fund things, and the Variety article running a survey firm and suggesting an exodus from YouTube over Diz. Yeah, all of that's bologna sausage. I think we'll get into the Diz article conversation tomorrow, Archer. I think that's going to be part of the 6-minute daily, probably bonus time. The other aspect there of your presentation is don't trust any of these survey companies anymore. Variety's survey firm is interesting. We discussed it a little bit on WDW Pro towards the end of the segments today. They did a lot of, it's obviously did a lot of push polling and false premise insertion and more marketing than anything else. We also saw the New York mayor was never going to get funding, and I have a clip to support that. So we'll be taking a look at that in just a moment. And of course, the lovely Dragon Queen, ever the generous human, gifts another Culture Casino membership. So thank you so much for that. Holy cow, the generosity is ridiculous. Thank you, SWG Vice and the first Dragon Queen. You guys are amazing. So let's grind this down to what's actually happening. As I said, I've always been concerned about legitimate elections and people being allowed to vote illegally. And, so every time that's discovered, I get a little bit frustrated. We're starting to see some changes to some things, and perhaps an executive order that'll actually be effective and legal to force people to have to present ID when they vote, and one vote per citizen, and the elimination of universal mail-in, which is also a problem. But let's get to one of the problems with any of these other things being suggested, because there are problems with them. Let's take a look at this video clip that should disturb you down to your toes. It certainly does disturb me, because a mayor actually is guilty of committing voter fraud, or at least it seems that way. Let's take a look from an NBC News source, so it's an authoritative source. Here we go.
The mayor of Coldwater accused of election fraud. The charges come hours after he secured a second term in office. Attorney General Chris Kobach charged Mayor Jose Joe Ceballos with 6 felonies, 3 counts each of voting without being qualified and election perjury. Kobach claims Ceballos is lawfully living in the U.S., but is a citizen of Mexico, making him ineligible to vote. The AG alleges the mayor illegally cast ballots in the August 2024 primary and November 2022 and 2023 general elections.
In large part, our system right now is based on trust. Trust that when the person signed the registration or signs the poll books saying that he's a qualified elector or that he is a United States citizen, that the person is telling the truth.
Obviously, he's not a U.S. citizen. He's a citizen of Mexico. The fact that somehow we've allowed people who are not citizens of the U.S. to run and achieve office anywhere at any level of government is flabbergasting to me. But worse yet, not a citizen and, well, voting illegally. We'll keep going.
We reached out to Mayor Ceballos for comment, but have not heard back yet. The Coldwater City Council, though, released a statement on social media saying the mayor called them in for a special meeting over the noon hour to, quote, discuss recent events that have transpired with the Kansas Attorney General's office. While the recent allegations involving the mayor are understandably concerning, we will allow the proper legal process to take its course before making any further comments, unquote. Ceballos is expected to be in court for his first appearance on December 3rd.
So on December 3rd, I've got something to follow up on. I'm sure you guys will want me to. But I mean, this is seems to be a more and more regular occurrence, and I did have some other selections as far as people voting illegally and people running for office illegally. But it's going to be a problem going forward because, well, you let in 10 million people or more illegally, and you actually aided in importing illegal humans into the United States. And I don't know what else to say. That's an awful lot of felonies for one guy. So, I'm going to tell you right now, Brawndo is probably not great for plants. I know it has electrolytes, but man, I want to stop living in idiocracy. That's just what it is. Our friend Carl says, I already left NYC 6 years ago to move to Connecticut before the global crisis happened. During that time, it broke my heart to see how far NYC had fallen to crime, poverty, bureaucratic hypocrisy, irresponsibility, and I can add a bunch of superlatives, I'm sure. But look, you're not wrong. New York has fallen and had been falling for a while. Yeah. And I agree with Weatherman. I think people with dual citizenship shouldn't be allowed to run or hold office. I agree. Should be disqualifying. We need to reiterate what's fair and proper. And that's a real shame. We shouldn't have to. But with the current amount of undermining the government and the corruption and everything else, it might be needed. Keep it real. Good to see you. They also announced that grocery stores, that the grocery stores, they will have no cigarettes, alcohol, or lottery tickets. Really? That's wild. Crazy stuff. Hey, Argentum's in the house. Good to see you, dear. Hope everything's going well over there. Davina, good to see you. And everybody else, including Eric K., who I miss a lot. He's a very busy man. Canadian Spider-Man is out there wrenching away. Everybody duck. Sometimes the wrench gets a little wild on the end of the web. And we've got Barry the Music Man out there. Good to see you. Corbin Dallas, how you doing? Got to get back to work. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you, Corbin, for stopping by. And Queen Glama, I'm going to try to get this right this time. Glamazona, there we go. Democrats always cheat. I don't know if I want to say something like that. I mean, I understand you do. I don't think there's an always involved in that. I think that there's a lot of things that we see on the back end of some very manipulated circumstance, let's say. But I have a problem because we have people who think of the people who've come here illegally as having the same rights as American citizens. They don't. Their first problem was they broke the law. When you cross the border illegally or you overstay your visa, you have broken a law. And whether or not Don Lemon understands the difference between misdemeanors and felonies is irrelevant. You still broke the law. The second time you cross into the United States illegally, you are now a felon. You've committed a felony. And I think even Don Lemon would kind of understand that. Maybe not. I don't know. But at no time is any person who does either of those actions considered a citizen of the United States. Therefore, if you're a representative in the House of any at any level, whether it be state or federal, that person is not your constituent. And claiming as such means that you no longer hold the interests of the United States first in your heart, which is actually part of, well, when you swear into anything, any office, for the most part. So we've got people, and I forget this lady's name, that are absolutely trying to represent people from other foreign countries. That doesn't work. It's not legal. It's not bueno. Let me show you this video of this lady who apparently has illegal aliens as constituents. I don't know what authority you would have if you were representing those folks. And I think that, maybe you should be run out of your office for doing something that's impossible. Let's take a look. Perhaps you've seen this clip. I'm not sure. Here we go.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, November 5th. I'm on my way back to the Eloy Detention Center in Arizona. I have a constituent inside Eloy named Arbella Marquez. She goes by Yadi, and she has been detained since February. Yadi has leukemia. She's extremely sick. I got to see her the last time I was at Eloy. And for many months, my office has been demanding that ICE allow her to see an oncologist, which they were refusing to do since she was detained originally. Finally, in October, she was allowed to see an oncologist after she was vomiting blood, after she's lost over 70 pounds, and after so many in our community have been calling for better medical attention for her and detainees across the country. But since her visit, when my office has asked, when her partner has asked.
Okay, so she's going to rant on for a few more minutes, and I'll let her. But if people say that people here illegally are not getting free healthcare, I can imagine that she's getting this constituent. See, I'm using the fingers now, the finger quotes. Her constituents getting free medical treatment. Maybe it's at a nice facility, but clearly that person is. Do you know what she's carefully not saying? This person's here illegally, and I am America last. So this obviously is a person representing Arizona somewhere, because the detention center is in Eloy, Arizona. We'll keep going.
She has not been able to get a physical copy of her results. We know that her hemoglobin levels are very low, that she is not getting the proper medication or treatment for leukemia. So I'm on my way there now to, first of all, see Yadi, and second of all, demand that ICE release her medical results to us, to her family, and finally, make sure that she can get the treatment that she needs immediately and urgently. We'll keep you posted on what happens today when it comes to Yadi and our visit.
Well, as a human, I will not be manipulated with any kind of, story that's designed to pull my empathy for someone who's here illegally. They, as far as the country, the United States, they have committed a crime, maybe more than once. We don't know. And that person is not a constituent if you claim to represent any office in the United States. I'm going to keep harping on that because it's the truth. I'm also going to harp on this. Eric K sent a $5 super duper chat saying, why not do voter fraud? Normally, nothing is done to anyone who has widespread voter fraud. It will not stop until people go to jail. And I'm with you 100%, my friend. I think, and not only that, I think politicians should be subjected to, the oath of office that they took to just get into that office. I think there's a problem here. Phoenix Picasso says, I can't even own land on Mexico because I'm not a Mexican citizen. Indeed. At one point in time, I had considered the idea of purchasing beach property in Mexico and came to find out I cannot do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. You could get a timeshare, but yeah, crazy stuff. Tony Piacente comes through with a very generous gift of 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you very much, Tony Piacente. And thank you to all of you who just turned green. Is Empress NM in the house? Good to see you. Emotional blackmail, Weatherman says, is what that lady was doing. Absolutely. Yeah. Dude Bro Seth watched the last video. What is concerning is having an illegal alien as mayor. Yes, it's very, very bad. Yeah. Yeah. Rebecca just got a membership courtesy of Tony Piacente. Thank you very much. Randy Thoto's out there. Discuss what exactly? Yeah. Janet Z, good to see that she got a membership. Look at all those names go green. We have been the recipient of a lot of generosity today, and the Culturians grow each and every day, and we're going to get close to our 1,000 membership goal. I feel it. By the way, for those of you who don't know, my friend's birthday, Lorena Creole, is today, so you'll be redirected to her stream after we're done here. She'll keep you up to speed on pop culture, theme parks, the whole nine. She is a brilliant woman. And then I have a birthday the day after, which, of course, is tomorrow. So tomorrow is my birthday. I will have a birthday stream in the afternoon tomorrow, probably sometime after FNT ends. That seems to be the what I'm going to try to do tomorrow. That might be a little bit of a free for all with my friends joining in and stuff like that. Just a good time. Nothing less structured than obviously what this show is. So, and again, welcome to this podcast. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I really am enjoying this. It's Kumagoan in the house. Gifty. Indeed. Man, everybody's making sense in the chat. You guys are on fire. And Lightning Sketch, the most positive person on the planet, and I appreciate them. That's a lot of alliteration there. But I love the positive outlook and the positive vibes that go into everything Lightning Sketch sends out. Says, please tell me a reason to not lapse into nostalgic depression or depression in general. I was looking forward to the end of woke. Well, okay. Woke is going to exist as long as a position for an activist to infiltrate any creative endeavor, any form of entertainment. And those activists are the people who bring woke out and, and definitely give woke a bad name. But woke is a bad name. Let's just be honest about that. I think you need to look forward to the idea that there's a lot of good things on the horizon. 2026, by the time we get to the middle of the year, starting into summer, we should start to see a reprieve from bad storytelling and bad film. There are some good things on the horizon, and that also includes television products. Some television products are going to be coming to the forefront. Believe it or not, if you're into video games, if you're in my audience today, they announced that and again, I already said this would happen. They're pushing back the release date for Grand Theft Auto 6 until November of 2026 because they are still extracting all kinds of woke garbage, including dialogue and storylines that had been inserted into a game that should have been politically agnostic. That's a kind of nice way to say that. You got to go after the system on both sides, which up until this one, they'd done a good job. But 6 landed with a lot of very heavy-handed wokeism, and they are doing everything they can to extract it right now. Rockstar had fallen pretty hard, got rid of their best storytellers and their best game producers, and sent them packing. And one of them was even the brother to the guy that really makes things go over there at Rockstar. And again, the minute you're acquired by something like Take-Two, all bets are off. Going into it, I was told very specifically and had described to me a couple of scenes within the game that were going to piss off the world. And when I get closer to that story, we get closer to the release of the game, I'm going to, if not play a clip for you, I'm going to describe a clip for you on that game place of what actually they pulled out of the game. So one of the things they freaked out about, if you don't recall, was the fact that a lot of stuff and scripted stuff and dialogue things were released and leaked out into the world of a particular early build for GTA 6. There's a reason why they were freaking out. So it is what it is. And as far as the hit piece on Criticless, ignore it. Criticless is the only place where you can legitimately contribute, be heard, have a conversation about a film, and maybe find a few people who agree with you, even if you're Blaine or Jonas, both of which have terrible takes on some films. Anyway, it is what it is. Moving to Connecticut's not an improvement. Unfortunately, it probably wasn't for Carl, but you gotta hope. You gotta hope. Canadian Spider-Man says PM Carney has 3 passports. Yeah, I know. You have a real communist in your midst and a WEF puppet that really is helping to collapse the country of Canada. And I'm sorry for you, all my Canadian friends. Truly. By the way, we have some very talented people that are very driven to make very funny memes. And believe me, Putin's cat's one of those. And I will be playing one of his efforts here in just a few minutes. But I think we're going to have to really crack down on voting, guys. We're going to have to be serious about it if we want to have serious elections. Toby Moss says, I think the ego is hurting us. That's my deep take on the day. Well, perhaps. Perhaps. Lemonhead doesn't understand much. It's very true. He's quite the liar. Prolific, in fact. Jackie Delaney, how's it going? The same rules that apply for running for president should apply to Congress, judiciary, mayors, governors, etc. I'm with you 100%, and I think you're spot on, Jackie. I do. Argentum, hello. My cousin wrote to my mother defending Newscum and claiming Trump has harmed her children. Okay, my mother just asked her to provide a description of how Trump has harmed her children. Radio silence. Yeah. See, when it comes to receipts, most of these claims have none, and that's a problem. It's a hole in the argument. Jeff, what's up, buddy? Says, I hate they've been calling illegal aliens everything, but yeah, immigrant, migrant, etc. are terms for those who are documented. And again, I hate the term undocumented, so there's that. Pretty wild stuff. All right, we need to scroll down a bit, grab Tony Piacente's other contribution here for 5 Culture Casino Cash. I'm so glad I moved far away from that hot mess of blue states last weekend. I congratulate you, and I hope you had a safe and wonderful move, and you were experiencing a nice buffer in between. It's good. It's good. I was really happy for you a couple weeks ago when you said you were doing it. I'm even more happy that you have accomplished it. So, Lightning Sketch is back, hopefully with some positivity. Sorry, I try to think positive, but whenever concerning news happens, it kills the positive feelings. Well, I'm going to give you some positive feelings. Some good stuff is going to happen towards the end of the stream. So bear with me, my friend. I think you'll enjoy it. And thank you again for another 5 Culture Casino Cash. Our good friend, your Muslim uncle, is in the house. You reposted the stream. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. Canadian Spider-Man says many women are too emotional and empathetic to be leadership in political roles culture. Some feminized men as well. This has to stop. Well, the problem is the Kool-Aid starts when you're in elementary school, and they don't stop pouring it down your throat until you're out of high school. And after that, if you willingly go to a higher education without purpose and you get some underwater basket weaving degree, you're even more screwed when you get out in the real world. You're not capable of dealing with the real world, and you collapse into a little puddle. You become, well, less than human, and somebody less than thoughtful is the problem. So there's that. Empress M says, dang it, why can't Western women get constructive hobbies? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, gardening, existence, farming, being self-sufficient, that it's going to drive people together to work in unity and to make joint decisions about the best possible way to eat. It's a good thing. It doesn't only develop relationships, it develops a pattern of behavior that drives you into a healthy existence. And I really want to push that forward. So, but again, I'm a gardener. Speaking of gardeners, we've got Graf Webb, who's farming for just one thing. That's right. For freak's sake, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. And you should, because the enormous price increase just dropped and basically more than doubled. So there's that. For those of you out there posting in the chat, I just want to say you are amazing. I'm watching the chat go bananas on both sides. It's fantastic. Oh my goodness. TZ Burton's in the house. Good to see you. Hi, Culture. Your beard is way better than rapper Mamdani's Sharia law women in burqas can't drive beard. Yeah. Yeah. Wait a minute. I kind of like that. It's a very long name. I think we're going to start to see a lot of legislative action on trying to create a secondary government structure, which will definitely violate the Constitution of the United States. So, not too worried about that. Emotional blackmail. I saw that earlier, and you are correct. Holy cow, we've got Rhedosaurus. When Mamdani gets sworn in, you should celebrate by playing the old Soviet's national anthem, the one Paul Robeson sung way back then. I should, right? Or I could just sing "Oh Canada." That's the same thing, right? Your Muslim uncle has returned. It's good to see you. People think that Mamdani will bring Sharia law. Need to look at the pics. Said him in pride. He was in pride parades. You need better sources of info. I think I think that the thing that he threatens more is defunding the police and a bunch of things that I don't think that the governor is going to allow for funding. And we actually have a video that supports that here in a moment. Let's see. Yeah, my birthday is tomorrow, guys, not today. I'll be doing a birthday stream tomorrow. And thank you. All of your sentiments are much appreciated. You guys are the best. I always say November is my birthday month. My actual day is tomorrow. This has been my birthday week. And I'm happy to be with you all. Every day I'm on this side of the dirt is a good day. Zippy! Thank you all for the well wishes. I appreciate it. Again, please join the stream tomorrow. I will truly appreciate that. Yeah, don't support Hollywood, says Black Samurai. I try not to. You know, oftentimes I go to events for free or whatever else. But yeah, you're always going to get, if I have to see something, I will pay for it because I want to give you my unadulterated opinion. And I never want anybody to think that my opinion was in any way influenced by either access or any of that other stuff. It's garbage. Davina is 100% correct. And so obviously is Tony Piacente, which we'll get to in a second. But Assassin's Creed Shadows was the worst selling of recent Assassin's Creed games. Of course it was. We all knew that would be. And that's what terrifies Rockstar. They're over $1 billion into that game. By the time it's advertised and everything else, you know, and it comes out, they might be $1.5 billion into the game with a B. We'll see. Tony Piacente says, woke is like socialism. It needs to be continually fought. It does. But at the same time, I just have to say, I'm okay with that. All right, I got to continue on. Yeah, Toby Moss, I saw the staff photo with way too many women, a suspicious number of women in that photo, and many of them with the alternate hair color that suggests their identity politics. So yeah, I saw that picture. But I also saw other things that I'm really worried about. So yes, delaying it another full year to November of 2026 is, for lack of a better way of saying it, telling. All right, we need to continue on because we're getting a little ways away from politics. All right, let's see if I miss any other supers. I did from our good friend Tony Piacenti for another generous 10 Culture Casino cash, saying I was cracking up this week when the legacy media was saying that Tuesday was a victory for Democrats. Yeah, I think a lot of people went extra extreme hyperbole, including Tim Pool, which always irritates me. But the one voice, despite the fact that I love the guy, but when it comes to the political side, Jeremy from the Quartering, I think, just lays into a heavy layer of negative mayonnaise, and I hate that because I think he's a great creator, great talent. He creates a lot of stuff, but I don't agree with him on the politics of it all. But again, we're back to Tony's super chat saying blue states voted for blue candidates. Who would have guessed? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They even voted for the guy that wanted to kill other people, other candidates, and their kids. Not great. Not great. I think we. Hey, he's here. I just, and so is Mars Monkey Max. We got Andy Masterson out there. We got Mars Monkey Max. Good to see you. The very lovely Sherry. Thank you, dear. Don't drink culture. Well, I'm thirsty. I got to drink something. Poonscat, there he is. Hey, I'm going to play your video meme, just so you know. So nobody picked me up at the airport. Oh, no, I'm going to get hurt. I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was supposed to pick you up at the airport, bro. Didn't know that was me. You are not invisible. You are not. You are recognized and you are loved. Magnify. I am invisible. No, Tom, you're not invisible. You're not. Crouch. In fact, neither is Crouching Taylor hidden Swift. That's Matt G. Not hidden. Caveat Ties is not hidden. None of you are hidden. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's go take a look at this share out there. Because this is Mamdani in his own words. I don't think he even believes his own bologna sausage because, well, the mainstream media doesn't believe his bologna sausage. Let's take a look at the clip.
She hasn't endorsed all your funding plans yet.
No, but she has said that this is of immense importance to her. And what I've said time and again is the funding plans I've put forward are the ones I think are most straightforward and direct. And also, if there's another means by which to raise the funding, the most important thing is that we actually fund this thing.
Yeah, not the police, but free buses and or any number of other things that this lunatic wants to do with tax money, including taxing white people more, which is not even just a little bit illegal. It's incredibly illegal. So I don't know what's going to happen. I think that if this guy breaks the law, he decides to do, what do you call it? Sanctuary city garbage or any of that. I think he's going to be the first one they arrest for that. And then everybody else will just be a follow-up to him. Seriously. I think that's what's going to happen. Cyrano for 2. Thank you, my friend. Says, I believe Bernie almost went full Trotsky today. I believe that's probably true. Which is sad. But the reason I believe this is because I believe Trump said it himself. I don't know. You guys be the judge. I'm not going to put words in Trump's mouth. I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to let you put Trump's words in your brain. Because like you said, facts matter to me. And I want to get people on the record. I want to bring clips. I want to bring articles. I want to bring reality into the conversation. I think it's important. Bill de Blasio is the reason for the downfall of New York. You know what? I believe you. I also believe President Trump, who said the very same thing. Let's take a look at the clip of President Trump reacting to the election of Mamdani, who, again, he reminds me of the leader in Ukraine for some reason. I wonder why. You guys wonder why I think he's a installed puppet of the WEF? The Ukrainian guy is, so much so that Biden broke all kinds of laws to keep him in place and had a prosecutor fired who would have exposed the truth. We'll keep going. This is President Trump reacting.
Mr. President, your beloved New York City. Your beloved New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zorhan Mamdani, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zorhan Mamdani.
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. Look, we don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. We send him money. We send him all the things that he needs to run a government. And by the way, they get about 3 times what you get, Ron. If you look at the per capita, Florida gets 1/3 of what New York gets in terms of the numbers. Why don't you give us those numbers?
Yeah, well,
because that's what we should send him.
Yeah, well, like sometimes people say Florida gets more because they count Social Security recipients, but that's not money to the state. Those are seniors that live here. If they moved to North Carolina, you could count it there. So it has no interaction with the state government. They get more in the city and state governments than we get.
Right, substantially. We're going to be watching that very carefully, and a lot of people are saying he's here illegally. We're going to look at everything, and ideally. He's going to turn out to be much less than a communist. But right now, he's a communist. That's not a socialist. I've always said, we will not have socialism in this country. In the speeches, I said, well, what? He's
not wrong. So, but this was a great clip from C-SPAN I had to share with you. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild. LDG is here. Good to see you, brother. Says Jeremy doesn't express an opinion. He advertises one, but that's mine. Oh, understood. Okay. I think Benny asked the question, and I thought it was great that DeSantis, kind of chimed in there about state of Florida and the fact that they do have, a safety net program that pays a large number of their citizens a lot of money. But that's money that, quote unquote, they earned. That was the sovereign promise signed back, by a communist president that got, I think, 4 terms. And his wife largely ran his last term. Pretty wild stuff. Cat slave. How long until this loon tries to force? I'm not going to say that I think he understands that he's not going to be able to force a religious rule in place. You can't do that in this country, but we'll see. Look, and I always try to give credit where it's due. Putin's cat does some really great work, I think. And you know what? Bear with me just a moment. Let me see if I can stop the stuttering. I am constantly being bombarded, I believe, by outside action. We'll see. But I'll be right back. Bear with me a moment. All right, I think I'm back. And I think you can hear me, so that's important. But Putin's cat does a lot of great work, I believe. And I think this was right after Trump's endorsement of Cuomo, which I thought was wild. And I like that Putin's cat actually picked up this clip and made it a meme. I have to tell you, the possibility for video memes now, thanks to Sora and similar AI stuff, is still amazing to me. But let's take a look at this.
President Trump making it very clear here, there's no beating around the bush here. You really have no choice. You must vote for him, Andrew Cuomo. What do you say to that?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
What do you think of that? Putin's cat. Okay, sorry. I got too much out of that. But again, Die Hard, still one of my favorite films. Still, I feel very badly for Bruce Willis because he was an actor and an entertainer in an entirely different way. And Deeple is correct. This program is provided from views like you, or whatever PBS bumper says. You need that soundbite. I do. Actually, this program is here because of you guys, and because of great creatives like Putin's cat. So I will always acknowledge your talent, even if I don't always agree with your opinions, because I do have the best audience on any platform. Any platform. That's you guys. I'm always going to complain about how awesome you are, and that's not a complaint at all. Speaking of not complaining, we've got Skeptic Tank in the house. How are you doing, my friend? I'm worried about you. I hope you're doing better. Does this mean more identifying as Hispanic or minority to escape taxation? I think in New York, maybe. I think suggesting that you're the problem, so I'm going to tax you more, I think that's not good. I really don't. We got Eric K for 2, the great and powerful Eric K, the master of mods, the mensch of wrenches, and my friend. Says NYC will eventually go the way of London. I think it's more like Detroit, but okay. Keir Starmer, otherwise known as Herr Starmer, is the puppet of the WEF. You don't think that Mamdani, who seems to be singularly funded in some of the most interesting, if not illegal ways out there, got some issues. Ask yourself this question. Where is the follow-up investigation and prosecution of Act Blue? Where is the follow-up for all the USAID money and all the people who committed fraud with USAID money? Where's the follow-up and investigation into a lot of these criminal organizations that basically funneled all their money and laundered it through NGOs, including billionaires who are trying to do the same to influence elections and have for at least 2 decades? Interesting question, I think. If you have an answer, let me know. Speaking of amazing things, we have another generous human out there with a $10 super chat. It's Chef 4868. I wish I actually knew who this actually was, but I appreciate the gifty. The Dems' welfare state has been failing now for 30 years. Yes, because it's become too big to sustain, and the want more, they don't learn. This is insanity. I agree with you. You're not wrong. You're 100% on point. You're over the target, and people that are this aware are considered threats. And if they happen to be in positions of power, they're targeted. Look at what happened to all those senators, Republicans, and organizations like Turning Point and everything that were being essentially monitored by the Biden administration. I mean, you can't cover that up forever, can you? I don't think so. And they really aren't. But there was good news today, and I wanted to get to good news for y'all. All y'all. There's some deep south for you. All y'all. Let's take a look at this share. My pal Benny Johnson's doing great work. He has been for a while. But ding dong, the witch is gone. Or at least she will be. That's right. Nancy Pelosi is peace out. Let's take a look at the clip right now from Fox News. Ba-bam.
Yeah, you as well. Here we go now to Washington. The former House Speaker, leading congressional Democrat Nancy Pelosi, has announced in a video a moment ago that she will not seek re-election. She has represented San Francisco for nearly 40 years. She's 85 years old. The history she has in Washington speaks for itself. She has been a long-range player in the Democratic Party. And
a complete criminal. Sorry, I had to finish that sentence for him. In my opinion, I have to add that too. But I don't know what's going on other than she's getting chased out just like Schumer. The Schumer shutdown was there to protect the old guard. It's not working. And if they do take the nuclear option, which has been rumored, and President Trump has suggested it to the Senate, they could pass everything. America First could legitimately happen. The problem is Thune, I think, is still corrupted and corruptible and could be persuaded not to follow through on the agenda that the American people voted for. We'll have to see. But the interesting part of it isn't just that Pelosi's out. It's the fact that they even acknowledge that she's been there for 40 years, basically. She's been brokering power for herself. She's been trading in interesting ways that aren't achievable by most humans, including even Warren Buffett. And her husband's companies and efforts and his stuff seems to always be full of money, including providing post office vehicles at one point in time. So Nancy Pelosi announced that she will not seek re-election to Congress, nearly 40 years in Washington. And, well, maybe they'll get some new blood. Maybe they'll get somebody who will actually represent the state of California and specifically her area, which is San Francisco. So she was the first and only female speaker, which I'm going to say good. She was the one that had the temper tantrum behind President Trump tearing the documents of the State of the Union behind him and doing her little babyish golf clap. She is the cream of the crop of scum and villainy in Congress. And by the way, it's not just Democrats. There are some scum and villainy on the Republican side too, and not just in the lower house, but in the upper chamber as well. We've got bad people all around, and we need to weed them out. And I'm starting to believe that Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG, is one of those. She needs to be weeded out. So she was one of the most powerful figures in Democratic politics for decades and has announced she will not seek re-election. She says, "I have truly loved serving as your voice in Congress." Well, you never represented me. "And I have always honored the song of St. Francis, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace." Now, you were one of the war hawks, you big liar. "The anthem of our city, and that is why I want you, my fellow San Franciscans, to be the first to know I will not be seeking re-election to Congress." She's 85. She's been going downhill quickly, as have many that have slowly been turning into turtles. And she will be gone and won't be representing anybody anymore, which will make humanity better off. She was certainly not of sound mind, always sounded like she just had at least half a bottle of vodka and maybe more. I don't know. But the only person that seemed to be able to actually finish the sentence for a while in the Biden government, she didn't finish those sentences well, but she got through them. And she didn't say, yeah, and you know, the thing. Anyway, it is what it is. So, yeah, you guys are the best. So, no more Pelosi. Is that going to be better or worse for Congress? I'm curious. What do you guys think? Generic brunettes out there. Good to see you, dear. And still, Psycho Dwarf 9. Here we go. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. The beautiful Deeples out there. We'll have to see what's going on. Cajun Corey, good to see you, buddy. Says she was great slurring her words when she was drunk. She was incredible. She could finish sentences slurring her words. Of course, I slur my words after I get really tired, especially after a long day of streaming. But yeah, she had the post-fetal alcohol syndrome. I don't know. Anyway, power attracts bad people like iron to a magnet. Indeed, Tony Piacente, indeed. Your Muslim uncle says, Culture, she is the human embodiment of Mos Eisley spaceport. I think so. I think so. Oh, it's so good to see you, brother. I have not seen you in a long time. Assalamu alaikum. Ah, man, you guys are on fire in the chat. I'm loving it. Cat slave, what? I don't think Pelosi drinks vodka. Pretty sure it was embalming fluid. It could have been enabling fluid. California is basically controlled by 6 families. This is all true. One of them is the Gettys. That's true. Look, I mean, it's not hard to figure out who the 13 families are right now that are trying to run the world globally. And some of the people trying to back up their power, like the Fink man at BlackRock and some others. Keir Starmer's a bit level player, and he really acts like one. He's not smart enough to pull off what he's trying to do. And he's there. I mean, look, I got an article I'm going to share with you here later in the show that just breaks down just how broken everything is under these globalist tool bags. And the fact that, once the WEF is cleared out and the EU is either reformed or completely obliterated, I think everything will be better. And when I say that the EU be obliterated, I'm talking about the form of governance that's there. The European Union wasn't supposed to be a new governmental body over all the participants. It was just supposed to be a trade organization at a global scale to help enact quality trade for everybody. Once they decided to issue their own currency, the euro, and to do a lot of other things and destroy Germany at the same time, which was the economic engine of Europe, and push them away from, oil, gas, and other things that make energy, Germany basically signed its own destruction. And that's why we're here. Hey, the PVFS is here. Hell, Culture Casino and regards, Culture Boss. Well, thank you very much. I assure you right now, the Culture Boss is listening to this stream from the car as she heads home. Let's see. I word my slurs when drunk. Well, there you go, Randy Thoto. Yeah. President Trump has changed since mid-May. I agree. He handed over the Panama Canal Zone to BlackRock, which was garbage, and did a 180-degree change on the Epstein info. I agree with that. But I don't like the way that people like Thomas Massey and some others are going about trying to get that situation solved. Look, I don't care who's on there. I don't care if it's conservatives. I don't care if it's Democrat. I don't care. That information, those people are the scumbags of the earth, and they should not be protected any longer. Okay? We shouldn't allow them to be protected any longer. Man, the chat's on fire. You guys are amazing. Do you guys know that? You're amazing. Crypt Keeper Pelosi. Thank you for that, Davina. Yeah, Prop 50's got a lot of heat on it right now because of the sheer volume of, I started this show with the issues around voting. That has some of the biggest issues around voting. And even if they were getting 5 seats, that's a wash with one state that just redistricted. I think everything's fine. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up with y'all. Crouching Taylor, Hidden Swift. What's up, Matt G? Taylor for 28. Mamdani will find out 2 + 2 = Swift. I tell you what, Mamdani might find himself in jail. I think that's a possibility. Real Wade's in the house. Check out my buddy Real Wade Nation Gaming clips and all of his other efforts. Thank you, Real Wade. But you guys are on fire today. Yeah, the Peter Venkman fan site is out there. It's great to see you, dear, and thank you for your kind words. Let's see. Our good friend E. Clay Thomason is out there. Do you still think the filibuster should be abolished? I think if you want to get America First put in place in a way that the establishment can't thwart or block, if you want to get government open again and to not be held hostage by the likes of Schumer because he's trying not to get primaried, I think I'm going to be okay with it. I'm just saying. I think the president should have line item veto, but that's an entirely other conversation. I don't think that'll ever be put in law. But what I was disappointed by today is they couldn't get the Fair Pay Act or whatever it is that one of our people put forward today, which would have made it so that they would not pay House members and senators. They wouldn't pay them money, and it wouldn't be something that they could go back and collect later if they didn't do their job and the government shut down. I think that was a brilliant act that should have been instituted. But that's just me. Brahma Bull's in the house. And I agree with Brahma. I mean, the Democrats will do it the first chance they get. I think we need to get everything that was promised on the table and written into law, which will include voting law, which will solve problems. Yembe says, do not end the filibuster. Please never do. Well, it doesn't matter which party does it. It's that it will be done. So if the Democrats decide to end the filibuster, are you going to have the same reaction? I mean, this is a big problem. This is a big problem. I like the idea of the filibuster. I think it's great. It's a great parliamentary weapon. But right now, I mean, you've got people not being paid because Schumer thinks he's making headway, and he's just wrecking constituencies now. If I were in any federal government union, I would be putting major pressure on the leadership there, because many of these unions have already told the Democrats, we are not going to put any support by you. End this now. End this shutdown now. And Schumer knows that if he ends it, that's the only leverage they've got, is to hurt their people. Wild stuff. It's true. Tony Piacente with another $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. It's nice seeing laws being enforced again. Yeah. Some people don't like that, though. And that would have included the guy that got introduced into New York City. So defund the police is coming. We need ID for all federal elections. I want it for all elections. I think the state system and even local systems are screwed up because nobody has to prove that they're an actual citizen or even resident of a given state, which is quite garbage. But those are my opinions. You're welcome to your own. It won't offend me at all. I think everybody should have an opinion. I really do. But the White House made an announcement today that I actually wasn't able to capture because I was busy on another stream. But what I did capture was something that happened during that particular presentation. Actually, I didn't capture it. Terrible actually put this out. It's from Fox News. Something awful happened during a presentation in the Oval Office. We'll take a look at that. I really don't know what's going on here. Hopefully some of you have some more insight about it. But little conversation about Trump RX and everything that's been going on. Let's take a look. This originally captured, I guess, by AZ Intel. So let's take a look at this clip, and we don't know what's going on. But Kayleigh McEnany did a really great job in the cover. Here we go.
Creating high-value jobs. But today we... Oh, you okay? Gordon, you okay?
That's Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
RFK went to go get help.
We're going to break away for just a moment as the White House addresses what appears to be a health emergency in the Oval Office. Our prayers go out to that man, and we will certainly keep you updated and head back to the White House when the time is appropriate.
Wow. But, I mean, Dr. Oz went racing over there, watched him, and other people helped him to the ground as he collapsed in the Oval Office. RFK ran off camera, headed to go probably secure help and perhaps emergency services. And this kind of stuff, unfortunately, as we have such an aged population in government and maybe also in the pharmaceuticals industry, this type of thing happens. So I feel very bad. One of the folks, I believe, from Eli Lilly. So he fainted because he won't be making tens of millions in profit. Now, I don't want to make that kind of humor. Don't lock your knees when standing too long. Let's pray that's the reason. I do. That is not good. I'm just one of these people that I don't want people to be injured or have issues, but that's didn't look good. So I'm not sure if any of you saw, but pretty wild stuff. And again, that was during a presentation to talk about Trump RX and most favored nation status and all that other stuff when it comes to pharmaceuticals. Fascinating. Anyway, that's a little heavy. You know what? Let's do a conversation about dumb people. And there are plenty of them. I happen to think that Harry Sisson, dumb. And Weatherman says over low blood pressure. So yeah, it's crazy. Somebody forgot to eat breakfast. Yeah, it could be any number of things. Like I said, I don't jump to conclusions, but I didn't get a follow-up. Couldn't find a follow-up on that particular story. But I can follow up on dumb people. And yes, I know it's not nice to call people, dumb, but it is what it is. Born in Boston. Great to see you, my dear. Says blue states, vote early, vote often. Still applies. Indeed. Yeah, vote blue no matter who. Yeah, we can keep getting to that. That's 100% correct. Hey, Mark's here. What's up, Mark? Saying hi to Penny. Everybody's here. We have the best chats on the planet. You guys are so great. I can't say enough positive things about all of you. You're constantly reminding me why I do this. This is the thing I have fun with. I said this today on Pro Show. This is the best retirement job I could have hoped for. Getting to spend my time with you and with all these great creators all the time, including Brahma Bull tonight, because it's Thursday Night Throwdown over on Comics Division's channel. So yeah, this is pretty wild. But let's see. Who else is out there? Bruce Newhouse is, oh goody, my section of the show. You guys calm down. I'm talking positively about all of you guys. I'm going to show you dumb people. None of you are dumb people. I love you guys. I so very much. All right, let's keep going. So, look, there are certain people that don't put a lot of time and effort into their arguments or to their understanding of what's out there. I think David Hogg is one of those people. And if you don't know who David Hogg is, well, this is him. There he is. He's on CNN with some lady, I don't know, who's wearing too much makeup and had too much Botox. So let's go ahead and hit the button for this particular clip.
The entire reason the government is not open right now is because Democrats refuse to be complicit in having millions of Americans, including 100,000 in Kentucky, your home state, if I'm remembering correctly, Scott, that rely on ACA, that would see their premiums rise several
which you can deal with separately. It doesn't have to be, those two things do not go together.
But the way that they're doing this right now, they're combining both.
Voting to support the budget still doesn't, if you keeping it closed doesn't fix the ACA. The ACA needs to be reformed. Healthcare needs to be reformed. This is a way bigger question.
You guys failed at that last time. The whole thing was repeal and replace. You had a trifecta. You tried this. You failed.
David, that's not true. They're still in the concept of a plan stage.
No, in terms of
they've been in the concept stage since 2000.
But David, you would admit that the ACA was a Democrat legislation, yes? And you would admit that the
he doesn't even know
subsidies that we're talking about now were passed by Democrats, yes. And you would admit that the sunset provision in the subsidies, which comes up at the end of the year, was in place because of Democrats, yes. Now you want to make it a Republican problem. These are not the same issues. You could open the government today, and then you could negotiate with with Republicans about ACA. And by the way, my suspicion is, and you know this, there are probably, and I know there are some House Republicans that would love to negotiate on it, but under duress, under a hostage-taking situation, connecting disconnected issues, and now you're throwing SNAP onto it, you're throwing all the federal workers who aren't being paid onto it, all because of this fight that you wandered into because of your wing of the Democratic Party. You all led to this SNAP crisis. You all led to this crisis of the government being closed, and you don't know how to get out of it.
And that's why Scott's right in that argument. The expiration date, all this other stuff was put on top of this by Democrats. Everything that they're worried about, their social safety net program that's raised our health insurance premiums ever since it was created. They forced you to get on the program. Remember that Obamacare? You'll be taxed if you don't do this. Yeah, shut up. You know, it created a very bad circumstance for all of us who were in the healthcare market. That's not good. And again, this is the gun control idiot out there. He's a bad faith commentator, whatever you want to call him, and he's a bad faith debater. These are the kinds of people I have very little, if any, tolerance for. And I wanted to play that clip because when I got that late this week, I was like, I need that one. I need it. Bear with me just a moment. I will return. I just need to stop the stutters. I'll be right back. And now to test, I have audio. I do. Excellent. And yeah. So look, I could find hundreds and hundreds of dumb people every week. I found that. That's really easy. I could play Harry Sisson all day. There's hundreds of hours of dumb there. But David Hogg is a special kind of dumb. He's a pseudo-intellectual kind of dumb. So, and let's see. Probably one of the best conversations or interviews or people out there to talk about SNAP was brought on CNN on the Laura Coates live show. She is one of the two worst people CNN have put in positions of power and gave them their own shows. I mean, this is basically like putting Rachel Maddow out there 5 days a week. The more she's out there, the more people will realize just how silly she is. Sorry, it's the truth. But when you start to bring things like SNAP and these social safety net programs into a conversation, the only reason that they're not funded right now and people aren't getting it is because of the poison pill that the Democrats put into their version of the bill, $1.5 trillion. Nobody in their right mind is going to underwrite things that we just worked really hard to get rid of. Why would we fund this garbage? And this is why I know it sounds bad for those of you who are freaking out about the idea. And I understand why, because I don't really like it either. But if you do the nuclear option and you get rid of the 60 vote number, again, it's Senate rules. You can just change the Senate rules. Then guess what? Every single America First thing could pass. Everything. There'd be nothing that could be done about it. Right now, I think there are too many circuit courts, but the suggestion to pack the Supreme Court so you can put a circuit court in every circuit that they have artificially defined and have a justice over each of them, that's a different conversation. But let's take a look at this clip from Laura Coates, the silliest person on CNN, and that's saying something. Here we go.
The truth is, Betty, that the fault is Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, and here's why. They had an opportunity to vote to keep the government open, to pay SNAP benefits. They have voted no, not once, not twice, but now 14 times. We actually put on the floor of the Senate to pay our troops, to pay air traffic control, to pay border agents, ICE agents, etc. They voted no. And why are they voting no? Because Chuck Schumer has this assumption that the Democrats won the presidential election and that they control both chambers of Congress. That is a fallacy. And so what they're arguing for is that we should ignore the results of last year's election just to do what Chuck Schumer says. In short, that Republicans should negotiate against themselves.
But the fallacy, though, Congressman, you guys are in control. You have the House, you've got the Senate, and you have the White House. Don't you have more than enough power?
No, we don't. And the reason why is because of the Senate filibuster. Now, I'm on the record. I think the Senate filibuster is actually destructive of real compromise.
You want to get rid of it?
I believe we should get rid of it because what it actually stops Republicans and Democrats in the Senate from doing is finding solutions where both parties could work together in order to get majority votes. What happens now is you have the Democrats who were hiding behind the filibuster saying that they're not getting their way. They've argued for 4 different things. At one point, they were arguing for funding for NPR. Then they were arguing to undo some Doge cuts. Then they started arguing over Obamacare premiums. Premiums, by the way, the Democrats put in place when they were in charge of the trifecta. They did not make them permanent. They made them sunset this year on purpose because they were COVID-era subsidies. The Democrats don't want to talk about the true cost of health care. They want to hide the true cost of health care using government subsidies. And now they want to hide behind SNAP.
Well,
if the Democrats want to fund it, hold on real quick.
Go ahead.
If the Democrats want to fund SNAP, this is done very simply. Go to the Senate floor, vote for the clean CR, SNAP will be funded, and that's what's going on. So for Betty, I hear you, but the Democrats have to do their job as well. Donald Trump has done his. He's standing to keep the government open. Chuck Schumer says no. That's what's happening. The truth is,
that's what's happening. By the way, this is probably, or I hope, one of our next great governors. Byron Donalds is genius, and he just explained to everybody all the reasoning behind, well, getting rid of the filibuster and everything else. I agree with him wholeheartedly, and he did this on CNN. Now, mind you, the CNN lady tried to interrupt him 4 times. This is what you get on CNN because they don't like the fact that they've lost power completely. CNN is not influential any longer. The people that they have on these shows can disarm any of their anchors very easily. And the fact that he took control of what he was allowed to say, amazing. That is some media coolness right there that they need to retrain people with. Yeah, and they are aiming to keep the shutdown on through Christmas. You're right, Deeple. That's kind of their thought process, which I find disgusting. I think the rest of you probably do as well. But it's insane. It's insane. And I have a BBC article because my friend Dr. Richard James is in the house. I have a BBC article that I want to present to y'all in just a moment about what's going on there and how corrupt they are. Dr. Richard James says stuttering could be low magnesium. Take magnesium threonate and take up to 750 milligrams of elemental magnesium per day. That's a good recipe. That'll probably help me stop stuttering. Stunt Brat's in the house. Everybody say hi to one of the most amazing stunt people in the industry that is now retired. Hope you're doing well. My culture, God bless Hey, it's good to see you, dear. Are you going to Lorena's birthday party in just a little bit? I'm going to send people over there. She deserves a big audience. So there's that. Chuck Schumer is a consumer of the WF agenda. He's not just a consumer. He's complicit. Fire chief in the House going truth. It's a lot of truth. It was impressive. I love that guy. He's super good. Yeah. Culture. Quick shout out. You're easily my favorite panel guest on WDW Pro. Thank you very much. I think Pro Run's one of the best shows there is. And says, and you got a pretty awesome channel. Thank you. I appreciate that, Lord Dadrix. I really do. I enjoy what I do. Like I always say, I've got the best chat, the best mods. I've got the best perspectives. I got the best guests. I'm blessed to have all of you. So thank you. Speaking of amazing guests, we've got Ted D out there, one of the gigawatts for sure over on WDW Pro's channel, saying magnesium has helped me greatly for several different issues. Highly recommend Culture. I will do it. I take a lot of supplements, guys, but I'll definitely up the magnesium as suggested by Dr. Richard James. We have a lot of very technical, qualified people in our audience, and I appreciate them. And I appreciate the advice. So I will be looking to do that. And if the boss is listening, as I suspect right now in the vehicle, I imagined I will be hearing about it very soon because I'm sure she got the recipe for my success. All right, let's get to this particular BBC article that I wanted to talk about. Whoa, we're running out of time fast. We've got half an hour, folks. That's it. There's too many of them. This was amazing because this comes directly from the Telegraph. And I think it's probably spot on. And if you live in the UK or UK adjacent, let me know what you think. Telegraph's an interesting outlet, but I have a feeling that a lot going on out there. Oh my goodness. Peter is my fisher or my first name. Okay. I was going to say Peter the fisherman, but that's a little religious reference. Peter is my first name. Well, Peter, it's good to see you saying, I have mad love and respect for WDW Pro. Can you get unshadow banned over there? Are you, Peter? I don't know why it happened. Did nothing wrong. Decent. By the way, this does happen. Creators don't know that you've been banned. And it was most likely an accident. In my early days of modding, up until the time when I was like modding 4 channels simultaneously, like Eric K tends to do, you can actually like accidentally like butt mute somebody. If you're a moderator and you like go for a walk or whatever, you can accidentally like mute, block people, all kinds of terrible things. And nobody knows. So I will definitely take a look at that, Peter. Thank you for that. In fact, I'm going to take a screenshot of that right now. So, all right, let's take a look at this article and we'll go from there. So like I said, a lot of times it's just an accident. So, but ban me. I've done it before. I'm just going to say, I will admit. And then I had to message the channel and say, please unban this person because it happens. It happens. Vaccine Iron Man's here. He's a great man. Love this guy. He says, what we need to do is shadow ban Culture from his own channel. That's I'm sure happened before as well. Can we also get muted for misbehaving on stream chats? I misbehave on stream chats a lot. You're fine. Mutant band member. Again, I give everybody a lot of room because I like I said, I like free speech, but don't do any of the things that YouTube doesn't like, and try not to use bad words. I will occasionally say bad words, guys. I'm human. So I just try to limit it, because if you're driving in your car with your kids, grandkids, whatnot, I don't want to say something that, is not appropriate. So let's take a look at the awful truth about the BBC. What an appropriately named article. Again, I can't even believe that this is coming out of a European outlet, but here it is, and I'm going to have to shrink it. Hang on. Before I share it with you, it's got to look somewhat professional. Man, it's just huge. This is an enormous article. All right, let's get to it. Here we go. So Alistair Heath wrote this over on telegraph.co.uk. The awful truth about the BBC is now too monstrous to hide. And I think there's perfect examples of this we covered on Tuesday's show. Man, I saw a Clarkson video today, which was great, talking about the former Top Gear show and some other things, and paying great respects to the person who created that. Anyway, so our national broadcaster has promulgated a pernicious leftist orthodoxy that has taken hold of our institutions. Holy headline, Batman. That's amazing stuff. Britain is a decaying, dysfunctional society, and the BBC is complicit in our decline. Our national broadcaster is not merely dishonest, biased, and prone to cover-ups. It has also been wrong about almost everything that matters. Fueled by billions of pounds extracted via the license fee, the BBC has spent 40 years shrinking the Overton window, waging war against center-right dissidents, bullying politicians into following destructive orthodoxies, and promoting an anti-Western, anti-capitalist, anti-conservative worldview. Now, if that isn't a set of very amazing paragraphs, I don't know what is. Eloquent is an understatement. So its output, riddled with groupthink, lapped up by our decrepit establishment, reeks of oikophobia, I think, economic illiteracy, soft socialism, offing yourself kind of empathy, and luxury beliefs. Seduced by critical theory, indeed, the BBC hacks the anywheres against the somewheres, supports global institutions from the EU to UNRWA, however you want to say that, and barely conceals its disgust at those who prefer power to be located at the national level. Wow. Again, you want to go read this for real, because it doesn't stop there. Alistair Heath goes on forever. This is an expose within a story that I think needed to be written. Yeah. And I don't know. It's a perfect descriptive for what the BBC has become. It is a toxic entity within the government itself. And because it's used as the paper of record, and it also happens to be, state media, it's pure propaganda in reinforcing the worst possible ideas. And this is one of the reasons why, we don't fund our NPR anymore or anything else that could be considered a state-run entity. In fact, we need to reinstate aspects of one of our particular acts that Obama worked very hard to remove the protections of, which is why the government's allowed to lie to you and publish propaganda to the American citizenry rather than just the rest of the world. Obama was not a good person and not a good president. In fact, he was the beginning of some of the worst ideas we've ever had, which would include Obamacare. And again, the reason that they put a ticking time bomb on Obamacare and the subsidy program that happened afterwards, because they couldn't keep the premiums from rising in the hundreds of percentile, because that's not the way things work. And the Democrats very well know that. But they put the expiration in place so they could have another wedge issue, folks. That's the only reason to do it. It's the only thing it's the only reason Democrats do anything. Understand? Wild stuff. Wild stuff indeed. All right, we got another super I want to grab real quick. Tony Piacente says, was it the BBC or Disney that ruined Doctor Who? It started with the BBC, and Disney did not help. They were perfectly aligned with the quote-unquote creative direction of the self-destruction of Doctor Who and anything related to anybody white. That's right. That's about as close as you'll get me to say outright that Disney's racist. But I guess I technically just said that. And I'm not wrong. I'm sure you understand. I miss Doctor Who. I miss real Doctor Who. And Teddy is correct. Teddy is correct. The commentator, Alistair Heath, is 100% on point. It's just like, it's like a scene from V for Vendetta. So, I mean, it's all true. All of it. To quote a terrible Star Wars movie. This is now the reading portion. I stopped, but I'm just telling you, this is worth your time. And if you need me to gift this article to you, I can. But anyway, it's well worth examination. I don't oftentimes tell you, maybe read this, but sometimes I have to, because it's too eloquent and lengthy for me to put in this segment in its entirety. So I just wanted you to all know that facts matter, and I go and get the facts, and I go and get the stories written from a factual perspective. I think it's important. Oh my gosh, what else has been happening out there? I think the biggest concern right now for the Democrats is a perception problem. And I'm going to grab this last clip for you, and we will talk about it, because I think it was a wake-up call for not just all of us here in the United States, but for the Democratic Party that is socialist. Somebody who has apparently a defund the police kind of an agenda, a person who wants to give everything away for free and tax white people more. I think that's a problem. And I think it not only reeks of communism or socialism, whichever ism you'd like to point at this guy. Democratic socialists are the worst form of socialism. They are an illusion and a pathway to power. And when your victory speech calls for revolution, you know where you're living at. You know where you're living at. And I just saw Kronos Godwisen say that the class action should be filed against the BBC. I agree. I think citizenry should start coming together in their own version of a union and start going after all the big bads that are bringing the world down. There's plenty of them. Speaking of plenty of them, we got an amazing wrench in Eric K. saying no mod should ever put their phone in their pocket with chat open. You will ban or time out people. It is the first rule. People lose wrenches over it. Yeah, Eric K., I know. I was being dumb. I just admitted to dumbness, okay? You trying to get me banned from wrenching now? I thought we were friends. But you're right. Don't put your phone in your pocket. Anyway. Read my member chat. You're mean to me, Mike. Why would I read it? You're mean to me. You don't like me. Thought we were friends. We just gained another member, though. Rinsler is out there. Thank you for joining us and becoming a Culturian like Mikey, a valued one at that, which Mikey is very valued, and he knows that. Tomorrow's my birthday, Mike. You're going to be mean to me tomorrow? How is this not? Wait, I was looking. How am I not? Your name's not coming up. Hang on. Mexican Iron Man. Mikey. I don't see it, man. Am I spelling it wrong? Celebrates good time. Come on. Da, 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 da. Oh, here it is. Ba-ba. He says, 53 months. That is a dedicated man who I love like a brother. And I know he knows that. Says, new show, Anti-FA Casino. Watch live as culture travels to defend our democracy. The twist, Mexican Iron Man drops culture off in the middle of downtown Chicago in a white bedsheet and hood. Oh, no. Watching the fun begin. Oh, no. Oh, man, I feel like that scene in Die Hard, what was it, 3? Where he's out there wearing the clapboard sign and bad MFer says, somebody's about to get killed. And he goes out and rescues him. Yeah, with the bomb. That was the bomb crazy plot line too. Thank you, Mikey. That was worth the chuckle. Much appreciated. The Skeptic Tank. I don't know if I got this, but he said it's 20 months of membership. Getting used to this phase of the culture casino. Well, thank you. Navigating the career change without wanting to feed the giant machinery. Yeah. Down with the big food, pharma. Me, yeah, I'm all about it. And we'll talk about that. And again, this show, this podcast that I am doing right now on the main channel will eventually, I think, become its own channel. I think I'm going to follow in Drunk's footsteps because I think it's the better way to go. And thank you for being here this long, my friend. It's good to see you. Lester. We've got Crouching Tiger, Hidden Swift, celebrating 28 months of membership. He says, Cecil is trying to get out of my now. See ya. Oh, okay. All right. Go say hi to Cecil. I hope he's doing well. Worry about him. And our good friend Weatherman, who's been here forever, 34 months. Amazing. You guys on the 3-year tag is amazing to me. Says, I'm hello culture. I'm protesting YT until the @ sign disappears. I'm trying to figure out, there might be a setting. Jonas and Pro are saying there might be a setting I could change. I don't know. I'm going to go look. I hate the @ symbols. I do too, guys. I did not pick this. I said to YouTube, Team YouTube on social when this happened the first time, this is terrible. Don't do it anymore. I will be angry. Well, I don't think I added I'll be angry, but I am angry. I'm angry. It's dumb and it hurts. It hurts you because some of you have like really creative screen names that everybody recognizes you for. So I think it's terrible. I think it's bad show. Not by me, but by, the bad guys. People changing things. Man, we got great people here. Oh, let's just say this. If you guys aren't reading the stories every day over on Geeks and Gamers and That Park Place, you are missing out on some of the best news ever. Positive news that'll pull you out of any kind of nostalgia depression that we were talking about earlier. So there's a lot of good stories over there, a lot of positive news, and I'm trying to give you more of it. So let's say this as I see Dave Bob, who's been a member for 750,000 years, or let's see, 22 months. He was a member before, so I think there was a brief interruption there because he's been around for a long time. I love Dave Bob. Says, I'm still Dave Bob, which I love. Your name is Easy Mode. Easy Mode. So anyway, let's see what else happens here. All right, let's get to this last video I want to show you because I think it's worth it. I'm not showing you guys anything I don't think is worth it, and we're running out of time, and I know it. I'm silly human. Anything positive about Disney, says Randy Thoto? At times, although I'm not very positive about the fact that they just jacked the rate for Disney minus, but it is what it is.
The story for tonight is actually that the Socialist Party is taking over the Democrat Party. And you know what? It was Andrew Cuomo It was Kathy Hochul. It were the Democrats that were so afraid of their shadows, so afraid of the radical left. People like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez kept moving to satisfy them, and now they've been eaten alive. So this is a lesson for the Democrat Party. They should have fought for their party. They never fought for their party. They catered to the radical left. And now we're going to see, by the way, for people who think that they're voting for affordability here with Mamdani, a guy who believes in socialism, we're going to learn the hard way in New York City what socialism is. Your taxes will go up, and if you pay property taxes, you won't be able to afford to live in your home. And if you guess what, you rent, it's going to be passed on to you in the form of your rent. Yeah. Mandates, fees, regulations, surcharges. We've seen it in this state, in this city, under one-party rule for the last decade. It costs money. It gets passed on to you. So if you think you're going to get a free ride with Mamdani, you're going to learn the hard way.
That's why the answer to it.
She spit truth. That was truth with an F, 2 O's. Truth. Goodbye, money. Goodbye, money. Goodbye, money. You're leaving my pockets right now, which is true. Morgan King, great to see you, my friend. And I think Empress NM is correct. I think that 2016 was the year that the Democrats were captured by socialism. I think so. Yeah, it's the truths. It's actual. Everything is satisfactual. Zippity-doo-dah. Disney sucks rocks. Anyway, it is what it is. Mark's 47 in the house. The Mamdani migration to Florida. I know, Stunt Brat. I have friends that called and said, this is going to be terrible. They already have at least $100 million worth of real estate purchases from New York to Florida. Florida is going to be invaded by anybody who knows what socialism is. It's going to be insane. Going to be insane. The Beagle Dad. What's going on, John? John, the Beagle Dad in the house, saying hi to everybody. I just want to say thank you. Today was an extraordinary show, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, and Weatherman's been a member forever. Yeah, 3 months before even joining the membership. So you guys are great. A good population decrease, not in New York City if they want a tax base. See, the people who flee are the ones who make money, make jobs, make things work in New York. If they leave, that ain't doing anything. Ted D says for $10. Thank you, my friend. Disney does sucks rocks. Yes, they do. They're very good at it too. Mark says, if you want to come to Florida, you have to prove you didn't vote for Mamdani. I think that's going to be a rule. I think they should make that an enforceable rule. Mark's 47 is in the house for sure. Andy's in the house. We got amazing people here. You guys are incredible. I really hope you did enjoy today's show. Everything else I have is just like, not the best clips in the world. I want good clips. And I won't give you anything but. And again, the game news is terrible, but expected. And the Supreme Court is probably going to make the logical decision about tariffs and not listen to Rand Paul, who's off his rocker, if he wants to take a tool out of the toolbox for the executive branch. It's just silly. And I'm telling you right now, if Leader John Thune decides to end the filibuster, change Senate rules, it goes through. He's got support from even some of the people that are wishy-washy like Tuberville. So we'll just have to see. Yeah, this is true. Popsicle is right. One of my favorite states, Tennessee, which is the state I'm going to try to relocate to, issued an invitation to New York businesses to relocate here. Yeah, I think I grabbed that clip way back on Monday for Tuesday's show. I don't know if I played it or not. But yeah. And I just want to say it's good to see William Schweikert out there saying happy birthday early in the show. And right now as well. And no registered Democrats are allowed in Florida. It's getting pretty rare down there, that's for sure. And you guys are so incredible. This has been I love this show. I love doing this show with you guys. I really do. Because that's how I think everything I do, I think is with you guys. I think it is. I think that's how I have to look at it. You're my guests. You are the unpaid help, and I appreciate it. So anyway, if you have any stories in the future, join the Discord. I'm sure there are several places you can drop it to make sure I see it. If you have wonderful animal photos or animal stories you want to share, there's a whole place to do that on the Discord. For the mods out there, please drop the latest Discord link. And also do follow me on X. That's another way you can get in touch with me as well. I don't know much else. You are my density. That's right. Cat Slave knows a movie line. It's a Back to the Future line. You guys are on fire. All right. We got to get out of here, though. I have a lot to do. And it's going to be amazing. So tomorrow is my birthday stream because it's my birthday. You will be able to join right about the time that FNT ends if you choose to. You don't have to. But I'll just be inviting some friends on, or not a formatted show, just a general hangout with y'all, all y'all. And we'll play the outro everybody loves. And with that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others. And until next time, see ya. For real. And thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty.